Hello, it's John Virgo here. This is a request for Snooker Loopy, which was a matchroom thing with Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor and Willie Thorne. Not my song. Mine was from Big Break. It's only a game. But you've asked me to do it, so I'll do it. It's Snooker Loopy, not so we. Me and him and them and me. Great lines. We'll show you what to do with a load of balls and a snooker cue. Pot the reds and screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink or black. Snooker Loopy, nuts are we. We're all snooker loopy. A well done to Chaz and Dave. Where's the cue ball going? Cheers.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Snooker Loopy podcast. My name is Tom Mayhew and I'm joined as always by the Tiger, Joe Hannard.
Good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everybody at home. And happy start of the World Championship Day. It is officially the beginning of the 2026 World Snooker Championship. Obviously, the qualifiers getting going and the yearly hope for Jimmy White to be flying in practice. And, you know, maybe this will be the year, Tom.
I believe I saw it's his 46th World Championship, which people make a lot about the Crucible. You know, it's going to be the 50th anniversary of the Crucible hosting the Worlds, but 46 World Championships. I mean, let's not focus on the fact that he's probably missed more than he's qualified for, but even so, though, 46.
Well, I mean, he hasn't been there since 2006, so that's at least the last 20 years that he has not qualified for the Crucible. And there were certainly some times in the sort of early 2000s he didn't qualify. So I think your stat is probably right. He's probably qualified for less World Championships than he's qualified for. So there you go.
I mean, that is probably going to happen to most players if they play until they're in their 60s, to be fair.
True.
Like there'll be a drop off.
Then again, I think even if Mark Williams or Ronnie or John kept playing to the age Jimmy is now and didn't qualify again, I think they'd surely still have a more favourable record. Interestingly.
Well, firstly, they won more at their prime than Jimmy did. Secondly,
True.
I dare say, even with all the kebabs in the world, I think they look after themselves a bit more than Jimmy did back in the 80s.
Yeah, very true. Very true. But yeah, very excited. Obviously, the qualifiers, I believe, will still be on sort of Discovery Plus. I know Judgment Day is going to be on YouTube as it normally is, and they've already said that Ken Doherty and Stephen Hallworth are going to be commentating on it. So clearly, WST have really high hopes of their chances of reaching Judgment Day. You know.
Unless they want them to be qualifying while they're playing, who knows? Like commentating while they're playing.
I guess they would only be playing on one of the days, so they would be free the other day. So I guess they're covered in that aspect. But it's a good vote of confidence, isn't it, from WST? But we're going to have a go at predicting the 16 qualifiers, as we always do. Like always, Tom, I have looked up last year's predictions. And, it was a victory for me in the end. I got 35 points ahead of 28. Some of the guys that you backed to qualify that didn't qualify last year, Dominic Dale, Robert Milkins, Tom Ford, Liam Davis, Stuart Bingham let you down, Jamie Clark, Juicy, David Lilly, Stephen Hallworth himself, and Alfie Burton. You backed Alfie Burton last year. All of them failed to qualify for you, sadly. But yeah, lots of mine made it to Judgment Day, and I think that was the difference. Even Ken Doherty won a match. Jimmy White won a match last year as well. So yeah, we will see whether were successful again this year. We give each other a point for basically the round that they reach. So if they win a match in round 1, they get 1 point. If they qualify for the Crucible by winning round 4, then they get 4 points, even if that's the sort of second match they play, if that makes sense. But it's going to be exciting. It could be a long one. It could be a short one. I don't know. Maybe we'll be in agreement, Tom. But should we crack straight on with it?
Yeah, well, one final thing, of course, to look out for is it's not only about the World Championship qualifying, there's also Tour survival. So we're going to see there's a number of players, and I'm sure we'll mention as we go through, the likes of Robert Milkins, Jordan Brown, Fan Zhengyi's not that high up in the top 64. Liam Davis is below. There's a number of big names. Robert, and I'd said Robert Milkins twice. That's how surprising it is. I've said his name twice. Mark Davis, who's of course been in the Tour since 1992. Loads of names who need a good performance to stay on tour. So it's all to play for. And yeah, let's just jump into it. Let's do it.
Well, let's go. So qualifier number 1. So the way this will work, I'll sort of read through the 8 possible names that could qualify from that section. So obviously lots of these could be playing against each other, but ultimately only one of them can qualify. So we're going to do it that way rather than going match by match, because this would take an absolute lifetime if we went match by match, Tom. But we'll start off then. So your 8...
Sorry. Not to extend it longer, but I believe we've done it match by match the past 3 years. So we know it takes a lifetime, because that's something we've basically done that in the past. So we won't do it this year.
Let's go. So your 8 to select from, Tom, are Mitchell Mann, Wang Jingbo, Jonas Luz, Peter Lines, Julian Boyko, Scott Donaldson, Stuart Bingham, and Matthew Stevens.
I mean, the big names obviously are Bingham, Donaldson, Stevens. I would be surprised if any of the others qualify. I think most snooker fans would straight away look to those 3, right? I
think especially because it's not like it was 5 or 6 years ago where everybody started at round 1. Matthew Stevens and Stu Bingham obviously get buys to qualify in round 3, so they only have to win 2 matches. So it is, I suppose, more favourable to the higher ranked guys, as I suppose it should be. But yeah, it would be a surprise if at least one of them didn't make it to Judgment Day, and therefore you would make them favourite, wouldn't you? But there's some good talent in there. Julian Boyko is obviously somebody that probably will qualify for the Crucible at some point or another. Very, very talented player. Mitchell Mann has obviously made the Crucible pilgrimage before. That's obviously a possibility, but I think I know where this one's going to go, Tom. Let's be honest. Back him every year.
To be fair, I'm right to back him this year, and I believe I've been right to back him mostly. I have to go for Ball Run Bingham. He's 17 in the rankings. He's the highest ranked player who's not qualified for the Crucible.
Yeah.
So, I think you have to back him based on his season and his experience.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I wouldn't be massively surprised if Stevenson or Donaldson was the one who got through, because I think all those 3 are sort of top quality players who aren't in the top 16, but I have to go for Stuart.
Well, Tom, I would normally always back Stuart Bingham, and I would. However, I think there's a bit of a curse of the player that is top seeded in qualifying.
Oh, not the Stuart Bingham curse.
And no, not the Stuart Bingham, the number 17 curse. And I feel like over the years, there's been lots of players that have been ranked 17 and haven't qualified for the Crucible. Also coupled with the fact that Matthew Stevens, as you know, Tom, is one of my favourite players. I'm going to have to back the Welshman on that, and I'd like to see him get to the Crucible and win a match. That would be amazing. Just one more time to see Matthew Stevens in a best of 25. I think that would be great to see. So I am going to back Matthew Stevens for this one.
Yeah, this is one of the brackets where, as a big snooker fan, your heart wants both Bingham and Stevens there. Do you know what I mean? Because they're kind of legends of the game in their own ways in terms of how many times they've been to the Crucible, and if it does feel weird when either of them aren't there, because it feels like they should be in that bracket with the Shaun Murphys and with the Neil Robertsons and stuff. So it's a shame that it'll be one of the two or neither of the two, but hey, we've split our bets there, Joe, and now it's going to end up being Peter Lines, but there we go.
Possibly will. Next up, we've got quite a stacked group. This of I think that there'll be a lot of players in this that people are backing. I think it'll be quite evenly spread. So we've got Mikhail Shubashik, who is the 15, or well, was 15. He's probably 16 now, but he turned pro at the start of the season, didn't he, at the age of 15? Polish player. And then we've got women's multiple-time world champion, Nagon Yi, who has won matches, on the main tour, maybe even this season. So, that's not an easy match. We've then got Gao Yang. We've got a certain Jimmy White, Sanderson Lam, Mark Davis, who is fighting for tour survival, of course. And then we've got Hossein Vafai and Tom Ford as the top-seeded players. I think this is a really tough one to call, to be honest with you. I think there's at least, I'd say maybe 4 players with a good chance and 1 maybe with an outside chance. And I'm not counting Jimmy White in those 5 this time.
Well, I did see Jimmy White. He was in a little helicopter because he's been flying, Joe. He's been absolutely flying in practice.
To be fair, Tom, this is probably the first year I've not heard anybody say anything about Jimmy White. Nobody said, he's in great form in practice. He's not really been chirping up about it a lot, so it would be sod's law really that maybe this year is the year that he goes all of the way. But
do you know what he's doing, Joe? He's flying under the radar.
Flying under the radar, there you go. So yeah, Tom, who are you going to go for out of this 8? I think it's a very tough decision, this one.
This is tricky, and I've just looked it up, and the current end-of-season rankings would have Mark Davis in 65, Sanderson Lam in 66. So,
wow.
Huge.
It's going to be a big match then, isn't it?
Massive for both of those, yeah. Of course, Tom Ford is a player he's won ranking title. Hossein Vafai, they both won the shootout, I believe, haven't they? So they've both won titles. Of course, they've both been at the Crucible recently. Mark Davis did lose in Judgment Day to Joe Perry, but we thought he was going to be retired probably about 3 years ago now. So has he still got that bottle? I don't know if he has. And Sanderson Lam was a player who was creeping up into the top 64. He must have had a bit of a tricky season to have dropped out. So, but he's never been at the Crucible. So,
but there's got to be some debutants, you would imagine.
Yeah. Well, and Gao Yang is again one of those. I don't want to sound like Dennis, but a very talented young Chinese player. So,
well, that's the thing. There's probably going to be at least one sort of more unknown Chinese name to qualify. That tends to happen every year at the Crucible. So obviously he starts off against Jimmy White, so he would have to win 4 matches, which is possibly the only thing I would hold against him. I think I might go Hossein Vafai. He's got a pretty good record of qualifying for the Crucible, so I'm going to get my guess in early while you're considering it.
I mean, I make this mistake every year, but then it feels like it's tradition to make this mistake every year, and I'm going to go with the romantic story of the elder statesman qualifying. No, I don't mean Jimmy White. I mean Mark Davis. People got excited for a second. Sorry, I can't. Not Jimmy, but I think Mark Davis might have one last run at the Crucible because. I'm sorry, Jimmy, but we'd love to see it, but it would be.
I think he would have to have a season like he had. Was it 3 years ago where he almost got into the top 64? I think he needs to get to where he only needs to win 3 matches. I I can't. He's got to win 4 matches in a row. I have no idea when the last time Jimmy won 4 matches in a row.
I don't think he's won 4 matches all season.
He's been very quiet this year, hasn't he? I don't think he's entered everything. I don't even think he was at the Welsh Open this year. So, yeah, I have a feeling that either this year or next year could be his last as a professional. I think.
Possibly, but then we've said this many times, and I mean Ken's another player actually who his tour card runs out this season, so we'll see what happens with him. It's going to probably be up to him whether he wants to keep playing. He is down at 102 in the rankings though, so he's not had a good couple of years, so it could be the last time we see Ken in qualifying. But
could
we'll
well
come to
be.
him later.
Could well be. Right, on to the next group of 8 then. We have got Yao Peng Cheng, Ryan Davis, Huang Jaiho, Leon Crowley, whoever that is, David Lilly, Dwayne Jones, Aaron Hill, and Dave Gilbert.
Oh, I mean, Dave Gilbert feels like the only top. I think he's got quite a good draw there. I don't think there's any player who I would say. I think there's quite a decent draw for Gilbert because
when you look at some of the other 8s that we've looked at so far, I think Dave Gilbert would take that. Having said that, though, I'm going to back Aaron Hill. I've got a sneaking suspicion that he could be somebody that gets to the last 16 this year. So I'm going to go for that. So.
Well, I'm going to have to go Gilbert. And my brain was shouting David Lilly, and I'm like, no, yeah. I can't go for him every year. It's not working out.
One day it will. I think last year maybe it did. Has he been at the Crucible? Has he been?
He's never been at the Crucible, but this year this season was the first time he was in the last 32 of the UK Championships.
Yeah, okay, he qualified for that, didn't he? Yeah,
and it was like his TV Triple Crown debut. So
yes, it might happen. Who knows? It
could happen,
And to be fair, David Lilly will take that draw as well. Dave Gilbert is not as scary a player to take on as he maybe was 5 years ago. So, yeah, we will see. On to the next 8 then. We've got Bayu Liu, who is obviously a very highly rated women's snooker player. We've got Daniel Womersley, Robbie McGuigan, Hamid Mir, Michael Holt, Gong Chenzi, Daniel Wells, and Zhao Yulong. Again, quite a sort of mixed bag of a draw, that one, I would say. I think all of these players will fancy their chances of qualifying.
I was just trying to work out who the high seed is after Zhao, and it's Daniel Wells, and he's 44. So it's not a stacked group. This is it. You'd probably have to say Yulong is the favourite, but then I don't. Of all the sort of up and coming Chinese players, he's one who was obviously very. He's been around a bit longer than some of the others. He came because it was him and Yang Bingtao were sort of. I think they won the Snooker World Cup or something together when they were 16.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
But then obviously Bingtao went on to win a Triple Crown and ranking events. But for whatever reason, Yulong's never quite kicked on.
He keeps getting to ranking finals, but not pushing on from there. So. I get what I absolutely get what you're saying. I think he's qualified for the Crucible quite a few times. I think Daniel Wells has been there in the past as well. Obviously, Michael Holt has been there many times. I think there could be a bit of a shock in this one. And I'm going to go a little bit left of field, and I'm going to go Robbie McGuigan for this one. Just because I feel there's always somebody that comes through. And it could be him.
fair enough. I am not going to go for Robbie McGuigan. I'm gonna go for Zhao Yulong. I just feel like, again, I think all of mine so far have probably been the favourites. So I'm going to
He's
have
going
to.
for the win. He's going for the winners, Tom.
I don't know if I am. I think that's a mistake, but we will see. We will see.
Okay, on to qualifier number 5. So we have got Cheng Kawai, or Kawai, Ashley Carty. These are my Dennis Taylor impressions of Chinese pronunciations. Ashley Carty, Ross Muir, Mikhailo Larkov, Zhang Jun, Robbie Williams, not that one, Elliot Slesser, and Stan Moody. So highest seed is Stan Moody there, I think. Or maybe it's Slesser. Is it Slesser? Yeah.
Slesser's 19.
Wow.
Not in age. Stan Moody's probably 19 in age, if not younger.
Well, he is. So we were corrected in the comment section of the last video, Tom, when I mentioned that Stan was maybe 17 or 18. I was told he was 19, so I was wrong. Yeah.
Was it Stan Moody himself who commented?
It wasn't Stan Moody himself, no.
That's fine. I mean, yeah, it's hard. We can't keep... To be fair, I'd say me and Joe, we could probably name the ages of 90% of the tour correctly, which is useless information.
I mean, we even said that Tepchaya was 40 or something in the last episode, didn't we? We plucked that one out of thin air, didn't we? But
let's quickly have a break, Joe. Let's quickly say, I want you to guess the age of... who should we choose? I can't say Jimmy. Guess the age of Oliver Brown.
Oliver Brown. 22.
Oh, he's 31. No, okay.
Oh, is he? Wow. Okay. Wow.
That didn't work. Never mind.
There you go. We'll edit that out. Right. Onto this then. I'm going to go for Stan Moody. I think he's had a bit of a good season. And I fancy his chances against everybody other than perhaps Elliot Slesser. I think it will be them two at Judgment Day.
I am going to go for a surprise name. I'm going to go for Zhang Jun.
Yes, I thought you might.
Young Chinese player. I'm going to guess, Joe, that he's 21. Oh, he's 20.
Oh, well, he'll be 21 someday. So sometime when somebody listens to this, he might be 21. So there you go.
Yeah. And if you could go back in time and listen to it 9 years ago, Joe would have been writing about Oliver Brown.
Correct. Right. Anyway, on to qualifier 6. We have got Haris Tahir. We've got Connor Benzi, Ryan Evans, Vladislav Gradinari, Anthony Kowalski, Jamie Jones, Joe O'Connor, and Matthew Selt.
He's ready selted.
He is indeed. Jamie Jones is somebody that is on Tour Survival as well. I think he's ranked outside the top 64, or maybe exactly 64 in the world, Tom.
He is exactly 64, so he needs to probably pick up at least one victory to stay on. I think Antoni Kowalski, he's 69, so those two are ones to look out for as probably in trouble. It's quite a hard group to pick here, really.
Well, yeah, Jamie Jones has obviously qualified for the Crucible many times, including once as sort of an amateur, I think. Not quite an amateur, but sort of brand new back to the tour. Joe O'Connor has qualified the last couple of years. He beat Mark Selby famously a couple of years ago. Matthew Selt has obviously qualified a number of times as well. It's interesting because I feel like nobody in that group is having a standout season. Joe O'Connor has gone quiet a little bit, I think. And Matthew Selt is as average as he always is. So Yeah, I'm going to back Joe O'Connor just because I do rate him, and I think his game suits the longer formats, actually.
I'm going to go for Jamie Jones. Jamie Jones. I just feel like he's someone who I remember him being at the Crucible more recently. I just think he will find some form to stay on tour. And I hope it's Jamie or Joe, because if it's Matthew Sell, he feels like someone who just always loses in the first round. So it's a bit like
yeah.
like it's not as exciting if you just go, oh, he's going to lose.
Yeah, and Jamie Jones, I actually had to full name him on the qualifying predictions because, of course, if I go J Jones, it could be Jack Jones. If I go J.A. Jones, it could be Jack Jones. So, I'm just going to... I couldn't go Jam Jones, really.
Well, you could.
I could. Anyway, on to qualifier number 7. We have got Crafty Ken Doherty, Patrick Whelan, Dylan Emery, Anton Kazakov, Robert Milkins, Artemis Zizins, Jackson Page, or Pang Jung-soo.
Now this
one's a bit tougher, isn't it?
Yeah, this is more competitive right here. Any of those last 4, I think are very, very good players. I mean, this is tricky. Because I don't actually. I love Robert Milkins. I don't want to see him off tour.
I can't see him winning a match though. Like having seen him play a couple of matches this season, I can't actually see that happening. He's I don't know who he's set to play, but say it's Dylan Emery. I think Dylan Emery could absolutely beat him. Ken Doherty could absolutely beat him.
Well, it's quite a decent draw for Milkins because he'll play either Ken or Patrick Whelan, who's an amateur.
Yeah, so I think Ken will win that first match.
I fancy Robert to get a win now. I fancy him to get a win.
Okay.
Against either of those two. I don't fancy him to qualify. I do like what I've
By
seen.
the way, Tom, we've not agreed on any of them yet.
Have we not?
No.
Well, we're not going to agree on this one because I'm going for Artemis Zizins.
You know what? I was going to go exactly the same, so we do agree.
Do it. Yes. Come on, Latvia.
Because there's always got to be a debutant in there, and I'm fairly sure Zizins would be a debutant. I don't think he's qualified in the past. I
think he's 18.
He's
19.
He'd probably be Latvia's first Crucible player, I would have thought.
I believe he was their first professional, so he definitely will be.
There you go. Unless there was somebody in the 50s. You never know, Tom. Not at the Crucible, of course, but in the World Championship. Anyway, the first one that we've agreed on. Qualifier number 8, we have got Mateusz Baranovsky, we've got Florian Nussel, we've got Liam Pullen, Alfie Burden, Ricky Walden, Amir Sarkosh, Nopon Sangham, and recently crowned World Open winner, Tepchaya Unnu.
I mean, Tepchaya is the only player who can win a ranked event in March, and I still don't know if he's going to qualify in April because he is just so wildly inconsistent as a player. Like,
well, he has to win 2 best of 19s in a row as well. That's tough.
I mean, luckily he plays fast enough that it feels like a best of 5 for him. So, but I mean, I can say straight away, you're going for the Marathon Man, right?
I really want to. Yeah, I think I have to. I have to back the man, who is absolutely my second favourite snooker player on the tour. Ricky Walden. Be great to have one. Oh wow, it's not necessarily going to be his last appearance at the Crucible, but his ranking is dropping, and I do worry for him in the next couple of years in terms of tour survival. He can't be that far off it this year, to be honest. But it'll be the first time in a long time that he has to win 3 matches, I think, to get to the Crucible. So Yeah, crazy. But yeah, I'm going Walden.
I have to go for one of the players from Thailand, and I think I'm going to go for Noppon over Tipshire.
Noppon.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Noppon Siangham is going to be Tom's pick there. Okay, on to the second half of the draw then. And this one is a pretty stacked one, Tom. We've got Marco Fu. We've got Mink, Alexander Ursenbacher, Federer of the Bears, of course. We've got Prinrat Mukta, Liam Davis, Changbing Yu, who, by the way, is something like 32nd favourite for the World Championship, by the way. Like, that is a crazy thing to say. Jack Jones and Luca Brissell, who, by the way, has not hit a century break this season.
Chang Bing Yu, he's had a great season. It's his first season, I think, back on tour, or the first season of a tour card. He's currently ranked 47 on 1 year alone, which shows how well he's played this season. If it was based over 2 seasons, he would already be probably in the top 25. So he's someone who definitely a force to be reckoned with. But again, I kind of feel bad for most of these players, because this is an incredibly tough bracket.
It is. Somebody like Ursenbacher, who's been at the Crucible before. Yeah. I'm going to let heart rule over all here, Tom, and I'm going to go Marco Fu. So, there you go.
Wow. Okay, I was not expecting
Who, by
that.
the way, Marco Fu is top of the average shot time leaderboard this season.
Is he?
Yeah.
Why is he in a rush? What's he got going on? This is probably the hardest one to pick, because Luca Brissell, former world champion, Jack Jones, of course, finalist.
Well, this time last year, Tom, Luca Brissell needed to win a match to stay on the tour.
It's insane, isn't it? Insane. Because 2 years ago, Jack Jones was in the final, and now he's currently due to be 32nd in the world if he doesn't have a good run here. So it just shows. I do think those two are going to be pointless answers in future in terms of World Snooker Champions or World Snooker finalists, just because it's so random.
Yeah, Tom, maybe if Pointless is still running in the 2050s, then possibly.
I hope so. I do hope so.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Chang Ming Yu.
I thought you might. But yeah, Marco Fu's going to win anyway, so there you go.
He's going to win the whole tournament, is he?
He may well do. You know what? If he qualifies, I'm going to back him to get to the semi-final. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Okay, next one. We have got Ian Burns. We've got Sahil Nayar, Chris Totten, Daniel Boyes, Jordan Brown, Ishpreet Singh Chadha, Lee Pai Fan, and Ryan Day. And Lee Pai Fan, of course, famously knocked out Kyron Wilson in the first round last year, won the Scottish Open last year, and actually ran eventual winner Zhao Xintong pretty close in the second round, I believe. So, yeah, that's an interesting one, because he's not really backed up his good season last year, has he?
No, he's one of those who you hear those results and you think he must be knocking on the door of the top 16, but he's not. He's going to end the season at the moment at 26, which is like far away from the top 16 by about 200 grand. So crazy, really, a bit crazy. I don't think there's anyone here who stands out. Lee Pei Fan's the big hitter there, but at the same time, as you said, he's not had a great season, has he? So,
well, Ishpreet Singh Chadha and Jordan Brown both need to win matches to stay on the tour as well. So that's another motivation for them, because they're very close to dropping off. I'm gonna back Le Payfan here, I think, just based on what he did last season.
I'm gonna go back Jordan Brown. Just there's a ranking
That's
winner.
madness.
There's a ranking winner. There's some sort of form in there somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I just feel like I don't want to back Ryan Day because I feel like he's always about here and he's always someone you could back. And I think that makes him a bit risky in a way because I just don't fancy him to always be able to pull it out the bag.
And of course, he was 6-3 up against Luca Brissell last year, I believe, and very nearly knocked him, well, at least down to, you know, the lower reaches of the 50s, I think, in the rankings. That would have been crazy, wouldn't it? But anyway, on to the next lot. We've got Zhu Yiken. We've got Stuart Carrington, Stephen Hallworth, the Lincolnshire Sausage. We've got Kresh Gabashani. We've got Liu Hongyu, Alan Taylor, Zhu Se, and Gary Wilson. So there's a lot of sort of middle ranking players is what I'd call them. You know, you sort of consistently 40 to 70 ranked players. And then you've got Gary Wilson, who, of course, rank and event winner, multiple rank and event winner. And the first time he's had to qualify in a little while, actually. So that's interesting.
Well, I think did Zhu Se, there's two Zhus. Zhu Se qualified, I think, a few years ago, didn't he? Don't know if any of the rest. Carrington must have years ago.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Has Alan Taylor?
I don't think Alan Taylor's ever qualified now, but he's not ranked that lowly. I don't think Alan Taylor is he? Am I wrong about that? Is he 126 in the world? Is he?
Where is he? Oh, he's 70. He's not. He's
actually not in a bad position to survive the tour. So
okay, so he's doing a bit better than I thought he was. Do you know what, Joe? You've swung me. I'm going to go Alan Taylor.
You know what? It'll be good to have a Taylor back at the Crucible, won't it? Let's both back Alan Taylor. Why not?
Yeah, there we go.
Why not? It's all going to pot now, isn't it? These predictions. Anyway, we've got 5 left. Rapid fire. Here we go. So, Liam Graham, Oliver Sykes, Bulshu Ravesh, Craig Steadman, Liu Haishan, Louis Heathcote, Zach Surety, and Zhang Anda are your next 8 to pick from.
Head says Anda. I'm going to go with my heart, though, and I hope it's Zach Surety, because he played very well on debut last year. I think he got 3 centuries, but still lost in the first round. So it'd be nice to see him have another crack at it, even though I think Zhang Anda's probably the strongest player.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Zhang for that one. Okay, on to qualifier number 13. We've got David Grace, Ashley Hugel, Zhao Hanyang, Mohamed El Haredi, Julien Leclerc, Martin O'Donnell, Ali Carter, and Anthony McGill. Wow.
I mean, if it ends up being Ali against Anthony, that's just one that I don't want to watch because I don't care. No, and no disrespect to either of them as a person, but just as players, I'm not bothered by either of them. I wouldn't be rooting for either if they're against each other. And there's always
McGill only turns up for this tournament, doesn't he? So I mean, he mustn't be that far away from Tour survival. I wouldn't have thought, but
where is McGill?
But maybe I'm wrong.
He's 40 apparently. How's he done that?
Wow.
Well, he must have had one good tournament that we didn't realise. But okay, fair enough. I've got a feeling it's going to be McGill against Carter, and I won't care. But
I have to say, there's a few in here that are I don't really care about. Again, Martin O'Donnell, if he gets to Judgment Day, I'm not that bothered if he qualifies. It's you know what? I'm going to go for a guy I backed in the shootout many, many years ago, and he did well. He got to the final, in fact, that year. Julian Leclerc.
If anyone out there is a big fan of Martin O'Donnell, the Minister of Defence, please do let us know. I'd love to meet this person who follows Martin O'Donnell around and has a big sign going, "Come on, Martin!"
Go on, Mod. Go on, Mod.
I think just because that's
in our own way, Tom, we love Martin O'Donnell as well. We want to make that clear. We're not Martin O'Donnell haters. There are some people that we do not like, but there's quite a lot of people that are just sort of in the middle that we don't really care about. Sadly, Martin O'Donnell is one of them.
I mean, just because of this chat just now, I've just clicked Martin O'Donnell. I've put him in, and I immediately I'm like, why have I done that? But do you know what, Martin? I'm backing you. If no one else is, I'm backing the Minister of Defence.
Go on, Mod.
Come on, Martin.
Right, 3 to go, Tom. 3 to go. So, next we've got Liam Highfield, Oliver Brown, who's 31 years old, didn't you know? We've got Liu Venvei, Mark Lloyd, Wang Yuken, Oliver Lines. There's 2 Olivers in this bracket, which is interesting. Stephen Maguire and Ben Wollaston, who, of course, knocked out Mark Selby in front of my very own eyes last year.
Did he really?
He did. Knocked him out cold.
Wow. I must have missed that story.
It's because it happened after midnight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was on Snooker Extra.
I mean, I don't think anyone here is... Liam Highfield's an interesting one, because he reached the Crucible a few years back, then he fell off tour. He's been back this year, and he seems to... Well, he's 92, so he's done okay. You know, on the second year of a tour card, he'll be around the top 64. Yeah. So he's done all right, actually, I would say. So maybe he's a bit under the radar as a former qualifier.
But he's going to have to win 4 matches. That's tough.
And then there's Maguire, he's on fire, I've heard.
Well, he won the first ranking event of the season, of course, in the Championship League, so...
I'm going to go for Liam Highfield.
Ooh, that is left of Highfield, that.
Very nice.
Anyway,
very nice work.
I'm going to go Oliver Lines. I've watched him a couple of times in... tournaments that he's actually qualified for. And I like the way he plays. Ben Wollaston is one of those players that is somehow always ranked in the top 40 or top 45 without really doing a lot. Stephen Maguire, some days he's brilliant, but I'm not sure he's got that much hunger to be back at the Crucible, so I'm going to go Oliver Lines. And I think that would be another debutant, so... Okay, on to the next one. Number 15, we've got Lan Yu Hao. We've got Chachapong Nasser. We've got Hayden Pinney, Jamie Clark, Fan Zhengyi, Ben Mertens, Jimmy Robertson, and Yuan Si Jun. Jimmy Robertson is a very Ben Wollaston type player, isn't he?
What a comment that is. So it would make sense to very few people, apart from listeners of this podcast. They'd go, yeah, he is a Ben Wollaston, yeah. Yeah, he's... Strangely, Jamie Clark is an amateur, I believe, at the moment.
I think he's just qualified again on the Q Tour or something, I think. But
okay, but he's qualified for the Crucible, I think, a couple of times, hasn't he? So
Yeah,
he was
got to
maybe
the second round one year. I think got to the deciding frame against
McGill.
McGill. There you go. There you go. Oh yeah, of course, because there was beef between them, wasn't there?
If you want to dance, let's
yeah.
dance. I believe that was the quote.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, who do you go for? I don't fancy any of these to qualify.
Yeah, none of them will. None of them will.
What are the mass to? I mean, this is where you sort of think, like, how is it between Bingham and Stevens? When you look at this draw, I'm going to back Yuan Sijun. I like Yuan Sijun, but he's not really done a lot in the last couple of years. I'm a bit surprised he's ranked as highly as he is, to be honest. Tom's buffering.
I am in two minds at the moment. I am either, and neither of them are probably going to work out. But I feel like I think Jamie Clark might find something and qualify as an amateur.
It has been a bit of a trend of recent years, hasn't it? That amateurs qualify for the Crucible.
Well, one of them won it last year, so
indeed.
As much as he wasn't really an amateur, but we'll forget that. And I would say Jamie Clark's not really an amateur. He's going to be back on tour next year. So, I don't think he's a proper amateur unless it's some bloke who's, in their 30s and has never been on tour who turns up suddenly and gets... That'll be when I go, oh, that's the first amateur. But all the others so far I've gone, not really. It'd be like if, Steve Davis qualified as an amateur. He's Steve Davis, mate. I don't... Yeah. But I'm torn. Part of me thinks maybe... I was going to go Jamie Clark, but I think that'd be silly considering I've just gone for Liam Highfield. And so I'm going to go for a debut for Ben Mertens.
I was very close to picking Ben Mertens.
He's been very, very fancied for many years.
He has. I mean, he must be about 27 now, Tom. Ben Mertens. He feels like he's been around a long time.
Is that your actual guess before I check?
No, he's probably a bit younger than that. Let's go 24.
21.
Oh, wow. He started young. Wow. There you go.
He must have been a pro at 15 or 16. He was one of those.
Must have been. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's been around a long time, and I think obviously played in the shootout before that as well, so it makes you sort of think about these guys for longer. And last but not least, Tom, we've got another 8. We've got Hatem Yassen, Fergal Quinn, Farak Ajaib, Umut Dikmi, who I think is well, no, I'm not going to say that. Long Zewang, Sam Craigie, Yi Gao Kwang, and Jack Lazowski. Thanks, Jack, for having a easily pronounceable name, but yeah, I mean, Jack Lazowski, of course, won the Northern Ireland Open, I think it was. I think he got the semi-final. No, he got the final of the Welsh Open, didn't he? So he was the sort of Bet Victor champion this year. If there's any year that he's going to go and be a scary qualifier at the Crucible, it's going to be this year, I would think. It's a bit of a surprise he's not in the top 16 already, I think. Maybe the most surprising player to not be in the top 16.
Do you know what? For any other player of his ranking and as a ranking winner, I would go, that's a really good draw for Jack. But because it's Jack, and he just feels so inconsistent. Do you know what I mean? Like, notoriously inconsistent. Sometimes
I'm
by the
backing
fact
him.
You're backing him. You're going straight
I'm backing him. Yep.
Okay.
Who are you? You're not, though. I can sense it. He's going to go dick me.
I am not going to go dick me. I think that would get us banned from YouTube. I'm going to go for Long Zhihuang.
Okay.
It's
And
a bit
that'll
of
be
a,
a long overdue debut for him, will it?
well, it's a bit of a long shot, I was going to say, but there we go. I
There
think
you go. Well, brilliant.
He must be top 64. So he's 48. He can have a go.
He can have a go. Yeah. Yeah, he'll need his long potting to be on song, though, won't he? Anyway, just to recap, Tom, these are your 16 Crucible qualifiers. We've got Stuart Bingham, Mark Davis, Dave Gilbert, Zhao Yulong, Zhang Jun, Jamie Jones, Artemis Zizins, Nopon Sangham, Chang Bing Yu, Jordan Brown, Alan Taylor, Zach Surety, Martin O'Donnell, Liam Highfield, Ben Mertens, and Long Zhuhang. Is your final qualifier there. My 16, Matthew Stevens, Hossein Vafai, Aaron Hill, Robbie McGuigan, Stan Moody, Joe O'Connor, Artemis Zizins, Ricky Walden, Marco Fu, Lei Pei Fan, Alan Taylor, Zhang Ander, Julian Leclerc, Oliver Lines, Yuan Sijun, and Jack Lazowski. Now, little twist on this year's qualifiers. I thought we'd maybe implement the team captain to our qualifiers, who will, of course, double your point score. So who is your safest qualifier and therefore your team captain? There is another twist coming as well, by the way.
Okay. I think I've got to back him. I always back him, and he's looking at me from behind you, Joe. I've got to go for Stuart Bingham. I can see his eyes staring into me. His eyes are fluttering like that at me. I'm going, all right, Stuart, okay, fine.
So Stuart Bingham is your team captain. I'm going to pick the person I'm most confident about qualifying is probably Lazowski. So I'm going to go Lazowski as my team captain for double points.
Great.
Another twist, Tom, and you can take this however you want. This will get you triple points. Is who do you think is the longest shot of them all? And you can't just go Long Zhu Lang because who's the sort of shot in the dark, the one that you'd like to see qualify the most out of all of them?
What, the ones that I've chosen?
Yeah.
I mean, Long would probably be. He's the one who's jumping out now, to be fair, but I'm going to have to go for him.
Okay, fair enough. He's your long shot, if you like. I'm going to go Marco Fu on that one. He's absolutely a long shot, and we will see. But if he does get there, triple points for him. So there you go. That is our 16 qualifiers, and yeah, well, 32, I guess, almost in terms, that we only agreed on two, I think, Zizins and Alan Taylor. So
we only agreed on two players who are probably crazy odds to qualify. But hey,
yeah.
If me and Joe get those two right, then that'd be incredible.
Well, absolutely. But let us know your 16 down below in the comment section or at snookerloopypodcast@gmail.com. The other thing to say is obviously when this podcast comes out, 9 o'clock in the morning, you've still got a little bit of time to enter the Crucible qualifier contest. It shuts at 11 o'clock this morning. So, yeah, if you're quick, you can get that logged in and get your 16 written down. If not, then just play along in our comment section. That would be brilliant. Obviously, we will be back for a sort of review of qualifying and a look ahead to the actual World Championship in a couple of weeks' time. Hopefully on that Friday before or on Crucible Eve, as we normally do. We'll have that, and we'll be going match by match throughout the World Championship, score by score. And I will be taking on the 16-fold accumulator again, Tom, and seeing how far we get this time. Yeah, I mean, based on my predictions this season, it's probably not going to go well. So,
You never know, though, Joe. You never know.
You never
And
know.
I've
Got to be
just
in it to win it.
well, as Dale Winton often said,
Indeed.
I've just sent off my entry for the qualifiers, and it says, "Here is your entry. Please make a screen dump to store it for later."
Well, luckily for you, Tom, you don't need to make a screen dump because it's all in the video. So no dumping for you, Tom. Which you can see the relief on his face after that. But yeah, we'll be back with that. We also do have planned a one in between that as well, but we're not going to make promises on that in case it doesn't come to fruition. But hopefully we should have another podcast in your pod box next weekend.
Yeah, it'll be dumped all over your pod box.
Yeah, it will. From our pod box to yours. Dear me. Right, anyway, any final words, Tom, on this year's qualifiers?
Well, just let us know who you think is going to qualify. Let us know who you think is going to win out of me and Joe. And we will be back with a new podcast soon. And we'll do our regular ones during the World Championships. You'll have tons of content from us over the next month and a bit. So don't you worry. We're still going to be doing that this year because we've not learned. And we do it every year. And
we do.
Even though it's crazy, we still go,
it is.
Oh yeah, that thing where we stay up till 11 at night to talk about. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll be back with that this year.
We might live stream it this year. That is something that we've talked about. We have done quite a few live streams sort of towards the end of last year's World Championship. That might make a bit more sense. Let us know what you think.
Well, then people can join in and stuff as well, which is quite nice. So if you'd like that, let us know. And yeah. What about you, Joe? Any thoughts?
Well, no, I'm just looking forward to the marathon that is the Crucible, or the World Championship, I should say. It's not just the Crucible, because of course we've got the Institute of Sport qualifiers as well. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs over the next few weeks, no doubt. And well, in a little under, a little over 4 weeks actually. I think so. Is it 4 weeks today that we find out the world champion? So
don't wish it away. Don't wish it away.
4 weeks today, we find out the world champion. Will the curse be broken? Well, we'll be talking about that in our preview episode next Friday. So, yes, enjoy the snooker, folks, and we will see you on the next one.